You are too late, outsiders. The temple belongs to my master now. Soon, Zul will awaken Dazar. Then the Troll Empire will rise again.
We'll see about that, you vile creature.
Let's see here. What up, Keita? We'll see if we can get a nice tight cluster on this. I didn't realize this variable got reset on me. Might be too close together, but we'll see.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But I was away. Well, I was away Friday and Saturday. We were doing a family trip, and then I had a stream yesterday. And then I started to stream very late today because I was bored as fuck and there was nothing to do. Oh, I guess we have a what's it called? A totem.
Bait. Fixate.
bait. Loss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Bait. Loss.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Why was I bored? Because there's nothing to fucking do. Nobody's pushing any keys this week. We don't have raid. It was just like, man, I don't give a fuck about playing this week. What up, Cam? What's going on, Patty? Bro, I hope I had a good weekend. I did. Went with the family out to Grand Ole Opry Resort in Nashville and had a nice little time. Okay, yeah, these nameplates are probably a little too clustered. Probably need to split those up just a little bit.
CC. CC.
Oops, kind of hurt.
CC.
Nope. Ah, dude, come on, man. I'm concentrating on my fucking overlap. Let's make this 0.7.
CC. Targeted. CC. Targeted.
Okay. Time to vacate.
Servants of Yasma are not welcome here.
Add.
My claws will find your heart.
Enter.
Corruption be purified.
Add.
Ataldazar's power flows through me.
Enter.
You do not belong here.
Wait, why is that thing out?
Add.
My claws will find your heart.
Enter.
You do not belong here.
My thanks for killing the priest. You have only succeeded in strengthening my hold on the temple.
CC. CC.
Master, walk your boat!
Interrupt. Interrupt. Interrupt.
You die with me!
Interrupt. 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 Interrupt.
Boltal, in pieces again. No matter. I can rebuild him. But when you die, there will be no coming back. Impressive. You made it farther than I thought. But I will still be drinking your blood. Jazar will awaken soon, but you will not live to see it.
Jack.
Tear your soul apart.
Targeted. Jack.
Your soul be shattered.
Targeted. Jack.
Tear your soul apart.
Targeted. Jack.
Tear your soul apart.
Targeted. Targeted. Jack.
Tear your soul apart.
That was very scary. I'm glad that dude had an immunity.
Jack.
Tear your soul apart.
Jack.
Oops. Oh, Jesus, dude. Good volcanic, dude. Very sick fucking volcanic. Arms and enhancement? Yeah. Potent combination. Any, there we go. Thoughts on Conduit of Celestials? I mean, it seems good. I like kind of glanced over it the other night. Definitely seems like there's a lot of interactions with things. Damn. Biz kind of cranks the boss there. He didn't do shit to the ads, but with Spell Reflect, he kind of fucks on Yasma. When's the OLED arriving? It is supposed to be tomorrow. It says it's arriving tomorrow, and we've been checking the app every day. I don't remember which delivery service is delivering it, but it says still says it's on its way from City of Industry, California. Waiting a lifetime for the Asus one? Yeah, I have not really let myself believe that the monitor is actually going to get here on Tuesday. First, I was expecting they were going to cancel the order, and then when they didn't cancel it, and it was like, well, you know, we're going to ship it by Tuesday, or we're just going to get there on Tuesday, and I was like, sure. I'm sure it will. And then when they actually said, like, oh, it's you know, it's on the truck and it's leaving, like, is that, you know, we've actually scanned it, it's out the door. I was like, huh, okay. And I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for there to be something that goes wrong with it. But yeah, we'll see. You pre-ordered in February? Yeah, I got baited by, what was there's a Adorama, I think is the store. And they just let everyone that wants to pre-order the MSI one. They'll just take as many pre-orders as you want to throw. And so I got really excited the day I saw that, when it was like, you know, order your monitor. And I was like, holy shit, did I do it? So I ordered it all, and then it was like, all right, we'll notify you when it's available. And I was like, wait a second, what? And then I looked on the Reddit, and it was back ordered. And then they were like, yeah, if it's back ordered, that means we're not actually sure when we know. And when I looked at Reddit, they were like, yeah, I actually I used Adorama. I back ordered it like a month ago, and they still haven't given me a delivery date. And I was like, motherfucker. What monitor did I get? The MSI 321 URX. It's 4K OLED with 240 hertz refresh, 32 inch. All right, let's see. We're playing this and fuck that, and it's probably a good one. All right, let's do the little swapperoo here. Where we put on our neck that gives me fire resist. We use that in Throne. You just upgraded from a 1080p 24-inch to a 27-inch 1440p. Yep. What's the refresh rate on it? How long till season 4? I'd be surprised if it's within the next month, I guess. I was expecting probably very late April or early May. About just 165. I think 165 is a good I think 165 is a good amount. Your 470 can't really go above 165 anyway. Yeah, I mean, well, your frame rate in WoW is probably being dictated by your CPU, not your GPU. But yeah, especially if you're in like instanced content, like Raid or PvP or Mythic Plus. Yeah, you're probably not pushing a shit ton of frames. Like the one I'm getting is 240 hertz. I don't expect to get anywhere near 240 hertz in WoW, but I'm kind of future proofing where I expect to be using it. I mean, I just dropped $1,000 on this monitor, so I expect to be using it for a while, and hopefully within the lifetime of this monitor, I get to the point with my system where I can push closer to like 200 FPS at times. What size is it? It's 4K 32-inch. So you start your new job, you need a new fucking CPU. Honestly, there's some pretty affordable ones now. The Potato, thank you for the donation. That's very generous, very much appreciated. Thank you. Some of the new X3D chips that AMD's been launching here over the last few months, they have the they were originally running the 5800 X3D only, and then I think they've come out with a 57 and a 5600 X3D variant. And those motherboards are probably cheap as hell now. The AM 4 sockets. I'll bet you could get, what is the 5600X 3D selling for now? Maybe those are only available at Micro Center though, so I guess you'd have to have a Micro Center available or like near you. But all right, the 5600 is $200. What's the 5800? 5,800 is selling for 300 bucks. Okay, that's not quite as cheap as I thought it was going to be, but you could probably get a 5800 X3D with a like cheapo motherboard, like $100 motherboard that'll do just what you need it to, for probably combined like 400 bucks. And that'll, if you're using a 2600X, that'll increase your FPS by an ungodly amount. The fuck biz is AFK and Atoll. What's the cheapest someone could get a PC that could stream, in my opinion? Kind of depends on what you're trying to stream. If you're playing a more graphically intensive game, then you'll need a beefier GPU. If you're talking like WoW, you really don't need a GPU that like does much for WoW. I think you could put together a pretty good streaming rig for World of Warcraft for like, I don't know, if you went like 5800 X3D with like I don't know what kind of graphics card. Some of the newer graphics cards have better dedicated rendering. I think it's the 30 or 40 series NVIDIA cards have like was it the 30 series that came out? They had the better dedicated rendering chip on it. Bullshit. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I don't even know that you need like that much of a GPU. If you were running like the fucking 1000 series, you know, like a 1080 or a 2080, that'd probably be all you'd need for WoW. I bet you could put together a decent streaming rig. I mean, if you were talking literally top to bottom, like everything in the PC, like power supply, RAM, motherboard, all that shit, you could probably do it for $1,000, I think.
Three, two, 6, 8.
Yo.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3.
God damn it, I tried to taunt that thing out. Fuck me, dude. That thing just healed so much from that.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Targeted. Targeted. Fixate. Spread. Spread. Three, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Spread. 3, 2, 1.
Mm. Yeah, Biz with the spell reflect on the crushing depths. Let's go. No way, dude. Let's see. I think I stand over. Actually, don't know where the fuck I stand in this build.
Avoid.
I feel like everybody's all spread out.
AoE.
Yeah. There is no spreading out at all right now. What the fuck? Everybody's like in a perfectly positioned place to slam on top of each other.
AoE. Avoid. AoE.
Right. Once again, I am not entirely sure where the fuck everybody is going.
AoE. Targeted. Avoid. AoE. 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 Targeted. Avoid. AoE.
Actually, no, we can just release. Okay. Mortem not brew? Yep. That's how dominant Vengeance was. Even he swapped. Okay. Let's see. This is a run away and meld angle, I think. Bro. Meld, dude, meld! Come on! Mortar meld! Ugh. We just not. Are we done here? Valdraken. Okay. Yep. Seems like we're done. Is it a DH thing getting one shot? He says he accidentally got hit in the back. He said he was strafing, but I guess the game registered it as a hit in the back. And yeah, if you're a DH and you get hit in the back, it's going to be bad news. Good boss for Spell Reflect. Is red arm or is red arm is enhancement arms a thing? No. No. No, it's not a thing. No, I'm just playing with these guys because I know them and I needed some weekly keys done, so I was like, yeah, I'll sign up. Fuck it. So far, I've managed to get one key done per day that I've queued up. We're on four dungeons. I think I've probably started at least 12 dungeons this week, and we have completed 4 of them. Is someone like fucking baking a cake upstairs or something? There's like a very distinct smell. Want this forever. Alright. They have their healer coming back. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick because I need to figure out what the source of this smell is. This is very potent. Making me hungry and now I'm pissed, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Shauna plugged in a new fucking air freshener down here. I came upstairs like, what is that? Where's that coming from? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, are you baking a fucking cake up here? Like, why do I smell like I'm in a bakery? And she's like, what are you talking? No, I'm not baking a cake up here. And I was like, no, like something's going on here. And she's like, oh, I plugged in a new air freshener downstairs. I was like, is this some kind of like psychological experiment to see how long I can just sit next to an air freshener that smells like cake without getting hungry? Currently have crit versus main hand and offhand in your vault, a 49 versus master main hand, and a 49 crit haste staff. I'm trying to figure out if I go socket for my lariat. Whoa, 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 whoa. You ain't got to buy a socket for your lariat. You can put those on your neck without having to use a socket. Do not get a socket for your neck. You can buy an item
Something of me.
called a tiered medallion setting and add sockets to your neck.
There is a universal justice, and it is life.
Okay. So you have 483 main hand. Well, for sure you're going to get more value out of going up 6 eye level on your main hand than you are from a socket. So I would definitely pick up a weapon. It sort of depends what you want to do. If you are more into raiding, well, honestly, it probably doesn't matter that much. I would probably go 489 crit haste staff. Only mythic plus heal? Yeah, I'd probably go crit haste staff. All right. Got any other interesting dungeons in here? Not really, no.
Charmed. Go and defend that which cannot defend itself.
Is that SMS add-on showing stats? This here is a weak aura. I actually don't know if I have that one in my weak auras collection. It's called efficient stats. Oh yeah, there's an update to this trinket, weak aura. What is it wanting to do? I don't know what it even updated. Ever use pips in Mythic Plus? No. I used to before I got these trinkets, but I don't anymore. Season 1 upgrade runes in my bag? Wait, which things are the Season 1 upgrade runes? What's the name of that? The Wago link I posted there is to that, Weekor. Bottom, left, first, and third. Oh, this shit. This is, I hold on to these in case I need, rep to turn in here.
Time is money, friend. Be good.
If I need quick rep, I can hand them in for whatever reason. Cause only 2 of you had dinner. I found your credit card receipt. It's not right, but it's okay. Well, we're going to be getting like a whole desk makeover tomorrow because I've been putting off installing. That's a nice fucking word for it. I currently have an IKEA desk of sorts where I bought 2 like little bookshelf thingies, and then I bought a door, an unfinished door that I put across the top of them to make a desk. And at some point, like about a year ago, I decided I wanted to make my setup look a little bit nicer, so I bought a butcher block countertop from Lowe's, I think. And then I realized after I bought it, I needed to seal it. So we went out and bought some sealant. I slathered that shit on. Spent like a week getting it kind of appropriately fucking coated and let it rest a few times and blah, blah, blah. And then I just got lazy and I left it there. So it's been sitting over there on that side of the room for probably like 9 months or something. Just waiting. Because I've been too lazy to actually clear off this desktop and take it out and put the new butcher block on top of it. So what I've been telling myself is when I get my new monitor, that'll be an opportunity because I'm going to have to unhook my monitor, my current monitor from its arm. I'll just go through all the hassle of taking everything off the desktop and replace the desktop. So finally, close to a year after I bought the new desktop, I will finally be, I think, able to force myself to put it on. It'll be very simple to do it. I just have been incredibly lazy. So not only will I be getting a new monitor, I'll also be getting a new desktop. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with this current door. I guess I could buy, if I wanted, I guess I could buy 2 more bookcases from IKEA and then just use it again for the same thing somewhere else in the house. Because it has served me well, admittedly. I got this thing, I bought this when I moved to Kansas City, which was 2019, I think. I think I've had this shit for like 5 years. And it gives you a shitload of desktop space. I just kind of wanted to make it look a little snazzier. But yeah, if I bought 2 more desktop or 2 more bookshelves in the same configuration I have now, I could just make another desk somewhere else in this room, I guess. Currently have your computers in the middle of the living room. What are my thoughts on Druid hero talents for War Within? I They don't seem bad, but they're also, I don't know, they feel kind of uninspired. I don't think they're very exciting. Could make a desk for one of the kids. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. The kids have desks in their rooms, but they're not great. Not that this would be like great, but it would be an upgrade over what they have in some cases. So maybe we could do something like that. I was actually talking with Shauna last night. I wouldn't mind trying to get some more computers set up down here, because we're through both Shauna and Mai's work, we get several different computer parts that end up being not completely necessary. And I wouldn't mind being able to throw some of those into spare computers to set those up down here so that we could have like a family gaming area. It would be kind of nice. I mean, the kids have computers up in their room, but their computers aren't insane. It would be kind of cool to get some nice computers down here where we could do some family gaming sessions. And be able to do it all in the same room instead of just being in different areas of the house. Folky, thank you for the sub, babe. Appreciate it, and welcome to the J.Babes. Do I ever do videos going over how to heal specific dungeons? I do not. My advice for Archmage is I play Convoke in Everbloom for that boss. And I basically just Convoke one fire, flourish a second fire, then chill on the third ability, and then just rotate that. It's a minute between each of those, and Convoke and Flourish are both minute CDs, so Convoke first, Flourish second, sit third, and then just keep doing that. Convoke, Flourish, sit, Convoke, Flourish, sit, Convoke, Flourish, sit. Pushing, thank you for the sub, babe. Appreciate it, and welcome to the J.Babes. Thanks for all the help. It was my pleasure. Is Resto more DPS than Disc Priest right now? Both of them are allowed to go all out. Yeah. If I were to choose where to put my computer back when I was a kid, I would still choose my room, even if it's confiscated every night. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be choosing between their room or down here. It would be building new computers down here so that they could have one in their room and down here. I never had a computer in my room. That was probably a small mercy from my parents, because I already gamed way too much as a kid and snuck out to game more at night. Our computer was downstairs, and at night I would pretend to go to bed when my parents went to bed around, I don't know, 10:30 or 11. And then I had an entire elaborate little ritual. I don't know if they saw through it and just didn't give a shit because it was too much of a pain in the ass to like police me at night. This is a realization I've made as I've gotten older, is that as a kid, sometimes you think you're tricking your parents when in reality they know exactly what you're doing. They just CBA to like stop you. It's just too much where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, just let them do it. I don't care. And in my case, it was that I would I would act like I was going to bed at the same time as my parents, whose bedroom was across the hall from mine. I would walk into my room, spend 5 or 10 minutes acting like I'm in bed. Then I would get up to go to the bathroom before bed, and I would walk into the bathroom, which was the door to the bathroom was probably about 5 feet away from the door to the basement. So I would act like I was going to the bathroom. Then I would flush the toilet, and I would move as fast as I could after I flushed the toilet to basically like sprint, but not sprint. They couldn't hear me like running, so I was like trying to do this like really fast tiptoe kind of dash thing. Dash out of the bathroom and then to the basement door, and then try to close the basement door as quietly as possible before the toilet finished making its flushing noise. And if I could be at the top step with the door closed by the time it finished flushing, I felt like I had succeeded. And then I could like very slowly tiptoe down the stairs to get to the bottom without making enough noise. 100% CBA? I think so. And then I would sit down there and game for probably another like 2 or 3 hours after I went to bed, or after they went to bed. And then I would try to sneak back upstairs at like 2 or 3 in the morning and get like 3 or 4 hours sleep before school, and then feel like complete shit in the morning. And I don't even want to know how much more degenerate I would have been if I didn't even have to go through all of that effort to game more at night. If I was just able to keep playing with no interruptions into the wee hours of the morning and not have to pretend or do any of that sneaking around, Jesus Christ, I would have gotten like no sleep ever. But yeah, the kids have computers in their rooms. That was not really my decision. Shauna, that was kind of how it was when I moved in. I think had I been around at the time, I probably would have fought that and been like, no, nobody's getting a fucking computer in their room. That's bad for everybody. Yeah, I never had anything in my room, to be honest. I never even felt like I was really deprived either. But my room was for sleeping. That was pretty much my relationship with my bedroom. Was like, if I'm in there, I'm sleeping, or sometimes I go in there and read. I would read in bed sometimes, but basically I spent very little time in my room unless I was in there to sleep. And I think that's the way your bedroom should be. I think that should... It's like, I think it's the same way they say to people that are working from home. If you're working from home, you should have like a dedicated working area, even if you... even if functionally it doesn't really matter, like psychologically, you should have an area of the house that you work in. And then when your work day is done, you should like leave that area and go somewhere else in your home, like house or apartment or whatever. There should be a spot that is the working area. And then when you're done, you leave that so that psychologically you transition to, I'm at home now. I am no longer at work, even though you're technically in the same building, so that you can learn to separate those things because it's very easy when you're working from home, especially if you have a job that, you know, you're doing shit at all hours of the day. It's very easy to just always feel like you're working to some extent, and hard to completely disconnect from that and feel like, I am now in my free time where I am unburdened by work. And I kind of feel the same way about the bedroom, that I want to have I want my brain to, like, when I walk into my bedroom, I want my brain to know that, like, it is sleep time. It is not time to, like, lay in bed and do other things and then sleep. When I enter this room, brain, you should be prepared to fall asleep quickly, because that's why we're here, to sleep. And I feel like I do. I didn't always have that. I wasn't always able to go to sleep quickly in my life. But as an adult, it's basically when I lay down in bed. I mean, there'll be times I lay in bed and scroll my phone for, 30 minutes or something before I go to sleep. But from the point where I set my shit down, lay my head on the pillow, I think I'm out within 5 minutes, probably 97% of the time. What's up with the Pyre Patch tomorrow? No idea. How can you harness this power? I honestly think this is a bit of speculation from me. My suspicion is people that have difficulty going to sleep at night. I mean, it could be for a few reasons. But one reason that I think probably is a bigger contributor than people realize, and which I think affects a lot more people than they realize, is eating late at night. Your body has some pretty powerful regulators for your circadian rhythm, cues that it takes from your actions in your environment that tell it when to go to sleep. And one of the big ones is food. And if you eat food, you are telling your body it's time to be awake. You are not biologically adapted to eat food and then fall asleep. You are... I mean, there's some food that causes drowsiness, but for the most part, when you eat, you are waking your body up. And if you eat more during the earlier part of the day, which is what I have done now as an adult, I have a much more defined, like, eating schedule where I eat breakfast, which I haven't done throughout a lot of my life. But I eat breakfast, and I used to, before I moved in with Shauna, I used to basically conclude all of my eating by like 4 p.m. Now, because we eat more, like Shauna and I eat together or with the kids, my eating tends to happen, like, I have a big meal around 5 or something. But after that, I don't eat anymore for the rest of the day. So I eat my last meal at like 5 or 6, and then that's it. We're done eating. And I think people that snack into the night or eat like a big meal at like 10 or 11, you are setting yourself up to have trouble falling to sleep. And I think people would do a lot if you are having trouble, like if you find yourself being a night owl sort of against your will, like you try to fall asleep and you just can't. You get into bed and you just stare at the ceiling for 30 minutes or an hour. I suspect there's a lot of people that are eating before they go to bed, whether it's a meal or just continuous snacking throughout the evening. And that those eating habits are causing you to be unable to fall asleep. Wait, what? I was right. The skull has tusks? Oh, it kind of does. I see now. Yeah, the cheekbones. Yeah, if you look at if you look here and here, that's not an ordinary shaped skull, I guess. Hunter-gatherer, wouldn't you rest after eating? Like you just hunted, gotten food, then you rest and sleep? I mean, you might rest. I don't know that you'd sleep. But I actually did a bunch of research of sorts. Like when I was in my mode of trying to figure out a diet that was as cheap as possible and as healthy as possible, I was doing a bunch of reading about like healthy diet stuff, and one of the topics that came up was like circadian rhythms and how eating affects your ability to sleep. And one of the key findings about that was that your body has a natural cycle for its insulin response to food. The way that your body produces insulin, like the sensitivity to insulin, changes throughout the day, and it is most sensitive to it in the late morning / early afternoon, which is then when you should eat, because you want to target when your body's most sensitive to its insulin. And so the research was pointing to trying to do a larger breakfast and early lunch and concentrate more of your eating around that, and then do less or no eating later in the day. And light was another big one. How to regulate your like light consumption, how to get appropriate amounts of and correct amounts of light in the morning to wake you up, and then how to reduce or eliminate light in the evening, blue light especially, which is the stuff that signals to your brain that it's time to be awake, because that's the blue light is sort of what is stimulating sunlight, and that's telling your eyes and thus your brain that like, oh, it's sunny out, we should be awake, it's daytime. And so regulating your light consumption, regulating when you ate, those were all powerful. I think the term they used was entrainers, powerful entrainers on your circadian rhythm. Your body had a bunch of clocks, some smaller, some bigger, and that the smaller ones fed into the bigger ones. Very interesting stuff. And a lot of that research was still kind of in its infancy. I mean, the idea of a circadian rhythm has been around for obviously quite a long time, but how or what things affect your circadian rhythm and the effect that that has on your health and metabolism. They were still kind of scratching the surface of that. Complete loss as to what it is because they said it's available to retail and classic players. Yeah, who knows? Like, I've seen people speculate that what they meant by that was if, as long as you have a sub, you could play it, which may just mean it's available on retail. If you have a, you know, if you're able to play classic, then you're able to play retail, and if you're able to play retail, you can play this new mode. Something, I don't know. Who the fuck knows what they mean by that? Yeah, it will be interesting to see how big of a deal 10.2.6 is supposed to be, because on the one hand, it seems like Blizzard's hyping it up, but like in a weird way. Like, it seems like they're making a big deal out of it, but also like a shh, don't say anything, like, keep it a secret. Like, it's supposed to be an exciting thing, but something that they're, can't say anything about it, but it's going to be a big deal. But then on the other hand, it would be kind of weird if it was a really big deal and they weren't doing a, like global release. Now, admittedly, they don't do global release of very much mid-expansion. That tends to be reserved for expansion launches. But it would be really odd if there was like a big content release and EU just had to sit there and watch NA play it for a day before they got it. Will I spoil the new patch for myself? Yeah. Oh, I don't give a fuck about the lore in this game. Blizzard can try to make me care about it by keeping it secret, and that'll be... the secretive part of it's kind of cool, but not because of the lore. I don't care. I would... it would be cool to have a new patch come out and not really know what the hell's going on. Trying to discover the systems. If there's like new content, trying to figure out the content would be interesting. The lore side of it, just whatever. Feel like Max wouldn't big up it if it wasn't at least halfway decent. Well, the thing you have to keep in mind is when you're given access to things like that, it's very much at the pleasure of the developer. And if you have a guy like Max and Blizzard says, yo, we're going to show you our new stuff, you can talk about it generally. You can't say what it is, but you can, kind of make vague references to it. If they show you that and you come out on your next stream and you're like, yeah, I saw what's in the next patch. This fucking sucks. I would definitely not get excited about it. They're probably going to stop showing you shit. They're probably like, okay, noted. That guy's kind of a fucking wet blanket. Maybe we don't show him cool new shit because he gets on his stream next time and says it sucks. So if you are a person that gets early access to things, there's a sort of implication that at the worst, you're going to be neutral on it. Either just don't talk about it at all. You know, if you decide it sucks, then you don't say anything at all. And if it's cool, then you maybe lean into it a little bit. You know, oh yeah, it's super, super interesting. It's not like anybody's going to care afterwards that you were too excited. Nobody's going to come back a week later and be like, Max really fucked us on this. He said it was going to be cool and it was only okay. So if you want to engender that relationship with the developer where they keep looping you in on stuff, then it's probably to your benefit if you be nice about things and say nice things about them. Maybe get a little more excited than you should for stuff. Because there are absolutely, I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. For sure, there are developers that, you know, are going to take that personally. Not even personally necessarily, but it's a bad business move if they're giving people early access to stuff and then those people are not making positive comments about it. It's like, well, then I'm just not going to show you anymore because there's no upside to me. You know, if I show you early and you shit on it, that has not done me any good. And I'm under no obligation to be like fair. I'm here to sell my game to people. So if you're not going to play ball when I show you shit, then I'm not going to show you shit anymore. So I would take Max's comments with a grain of salt, which I don't think he's lying necessarily. I don't think he'd come out and say it looks really cool if he thought it sucked. But as long as it isn't awful, I would expect him to probably embellish his take on it a bit. Feel like the expectation they're creating is going to bite him in the ass? Well, it's definitely an interesting experiment. And I give them props for that. You know, I made a comment on stream yesterday that I would like to see Blizzard try more shit. And I said it in the context of changing the way that like raid works with like mythic lockouts, allowing you to do more pugging, not get locked into a mythic instance with the same group of people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, I'd like to see Blizzard experiment with that more. But I mean that in a general sense. I would like to see Blizzard just try more shit in general with retail. And there has long been a cycle with new content where it gets developed and then it gets put on the PTR, and then people, or at least a certain subset of the population, sort of rabidly devours it on PTR, spins up a bunch of content around it, which that's not wrong per se, but that's now the ecosystem that we live in, that there is a subset of creators where that's their bit. They get on PTR, they check everything out exhaustively, top to bottom, look at all the new systems, all the new content, and then they start making as much content out of that as they can. Making as many videos as they can. Highlighting everything. Because every new piece of every new thing on PTR is some new piece of content they can make. So they are going to leave no stone unturned on the PTR. And what that leads to is a general sense of having seen it all when the content releases. Maybe you haven't like specifically seen everything, but it feels like everything has been investigated when the content comes out. And there's not that sense of exploration and discovery, because that all happened on the PTR. And like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a decision, because when you hold stuff back, when you don't allow it to go on PTR, there's a much bigger chance that something is wrong with it. There's bugs or unintended interactions. A much greater chance that people are going to have issues with it when it comes out. But it also means that when it's released, everybody's experiencing it for the first time, and there will be a much greater collective sense of, holy shit, this is all new. I have no idea what to expect right now. And there will be a rush of information. As soon as this stuff comes out, all those content creators that would normally be on PTR, they're still trying to make this content. They're going to try to, fast forward through all of it and start getting out all those videos they've been eager to make. But for at least a few days, we're all kind of in the same boat. We're all new to it. And that's a facet of MMOs, or at least WoW, that used to exist and doesn't anymore. That idea of, I am figuring out something, or like figuring it out for the first time, or seeing it for the first time. And no one has told me what to expect or what to do with this content. And I think that's what a lot of the like magic of vanilla, and even like Burning Crusade and Wrath to a lesser extent, was that sense that you're figuring it out as you go. And yeah, there were resources online to help with that, but they weren't nearly as handholdy as they are now. You had things like Thoughtbot or Alakazam, where you could look up specific quests or items or something, but you didn't have, it was very, the information was much more like segregated. You had the component pieces of stuff, but it wasn't all bound together in the way that like WoW had, or Icy Veins does it now, where, it used to be that there'd be information about like NPCs or items or quests, but now you get not only all those pieces of information, but then you get like bundled. You get all of that by itself, but then you start getting bundled stuff where there's like these quests and these NPCs and these items, and then here's an explanation of the zone and how all these things fit together, and here's an explanation of the crafting system as a whole and how it all fits together, and here's an explanation of the raid as a whole and how all the bosses and the loot tables fit together. And it does a much better job of tying everything, showing you how it all fits, and explaining, here's all the quests, but here's the order that you do them in, and how they tie into the, zone-wide achievement and blah, blah, blah. And if you want to, it's now a lot easier to digest all of that. So this patch will be very interesting, because I think it is an opportunity for Blizzard to see if you can recapture some of that sense of discovery. And like I said, that hasn't existed in WoW for a dozen years or something. And like I said, that's a decision. There's pros and cons to putting stuff on the PTR. The pros are that you get a more polished game. It's going to be more player friendly, less bugs, less random bullshit that happens day one. But the trade-off is that nothing is nothing's new anymore. At least not when it launches. You know, it's new when it hits a PTR, but it's not new when it hits live servers. And there's a chance that we get this patch and nobody gives a shit. You know, they launch 10.2.6 and it's like, whatever, don't care. That Blizzard looks at the results and goes, okay, it was kind of cool, but nobody seemed to really fucking care, and the trade-off wasn't worth it. But there's also a chance that they release something cool and new, and everybody gets that moment of that sense of wonder, sort of, that you used to have with MMOs, where it's an entirely uncharted thing, and we're all kind of working through it at our own pace, and maybe that's really cool. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't experienced that in a long time, so maybe that won't impress me at all. But maybe I have a few days of being like, wow, this is a cool thing that I don't really know what's going on, and I'm trying to piece it together myself. It's also players' decisions to read guides and watch tutorials. Yeah. But I don't think people's attitudes towards guides and tutorials have changed. If those existed in 2004, people would have used them, but they didn't. Nobody made guides and tutorials, at least not easily accessible ones. Maybe they'd be buried on a forum somewhere. You had to go searching for it. But you didn't have YouTube there to easily give you access to this shit. You didn't have full-time content creators. People had jobs. They played this shit as a hobby. And now there's an entire cottage industry around providing this information to people. And the only way to change that is just to make it impossible to create that content before it comes out. So I am probably less interested in what exactly is in 10.2.6 and more interested in how the reception is to them having kept it under lock and key for the entire development period. Did 10.2.6 feel more memorable because we had no idea what to expect? Or is it ultimately going to feel like a gimmick where after a day you're like, wait, that's what all this fucking buildup was for? And I hope it pays off. It has definitely, I think, captured people's imagination a bit more this time through. And maybe if this becomes the normal thing, maybe that won't capture people's imaginations going forward. That's just the expectation. And people are like, yeah, okay, whatever. Fucking release your weird flags and I'll check it out on patch day. But it has a potential. Like I said, I like seeing Blizzard experiment. I like them mixing it up and trying different shit. And if it doesn't work, it's whatever. It's 10.2.6 patch. Nobody was expecting anything anyway. But if it does, if you do get if it does resonate with the community, cool. Though, as I said, it'll be a little disappointing for Europe if it is some cool new thing and the experience of that for Europeans is you watch North Americans do it. But it'll be especially cool if 1026 is old gen. And yeah, I had not noticed, I guess, before that the flag had a skull that does appear to be non-human. Maybe you like that.
There's a
Maybe look, they're doing another.
lucky ticket. I don't need it. You got.
I got a lucky ticket right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry. There's a Dune 2 at 350. So many numbers.
Okay.
Do you want to see it?
At what time?
350.
50.
You look really busy, so
Mhm.
there's no seats taken in the theater. We could just have all.
We could probably do that.
Do you want to buy all of them? No one else can go?
Nope.
The dog is going.
He is, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, apparently Sean and I are going to be going to a Dune 2 showing at 3:50. What? What'd you say? Oh, okay. Who were you talking to? Okay. Dune 2 is the bomb. Really good watch. Yeah, we haven't been to a movie in theaters in
Like a year at least.
what? Yeah, I think it has been at least a year. I'm trying to remember what the last movie we would have seen would have been. Maybe a Marvel movie. The last movie I remember going to was the Doctor Strange movie.
We've seen something since then.
Yeah, I don't know. It has been a minute. Oppenheimer? No, we didn't even do the Barbie or Oppenheimer thing. It's been a while.
Maybe some.
No, because I remember you and I went. Because I remember you got into that conversation with the dude about Rome. But maybe we've been since that.
I think that was.
Yeah.
No, maybe.
Oh wait, when did the new Maverick come out? We saw that, didn't we?
That was definitely.
Yeah, I think the last movie we saw was the new Maverick movie. When did that come out? Because that's been, I feel like that's been a.
Last summer, maybe?
No, I think it was longer than that. Maverick, that was 2022. May 27th, 2022. So,
We saw it late. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it late for the fall when it was still.
I mean, I don't think it was that late that we
So
saw
it
it.
has been a year and a half.
But yeah, it's been like probably 20 months.
What?
So no Chipotle tonight? Probably not. It's like a 2.5 hour flick, I think. Dune 2 run time. 2:46. So we're not getting out of that place till like 7 or something. Okay. Yeah, we got Sean and I got Chipotle last night. And we did the order ahead thing, so you can just pull up. There's Arch. I don't know if this is like a thing every Chipotle has, but our Chipotle has a drive-through window. But you have to order ahead. And so you can just pull up and then tell them what your order was, and then they'll give it to you through a window. So we pull up, we sit behind a dude in that window. Normally there's like nobody in the line for it. Normally we can just pull right up to the window, but this time there was a person in front of us. We pull up and we're waiting and nothing's happening. And I think we're in line behind this dude for like 4 or 5 minutes. And then we see the person inside the building hand a bottle, like a glass bottle of Coke, to the person in the car. And then the guy drives off. So I was like, well, that's weird. What the fuck? Why were we waiting here for 5 minutes for that? And then we pull up to the window, and then I don't think somebody even like comes to the window for the first like minute or two that we're there, and then they finally are like, hey, what's the name on the order? And Shauna tells them, and they go back and they get it ready, and it probably takes us 3 or 4 minutes to get our food delivered to the car. And so we were that they prompted Shauna when we got home, like the app sent them a thing. It was like, how was your order? And Shauna was like, well, I'll be honest, it kind of felt like a 1-star visit. Like we sat around and couldn't figure out why we were sitting around, and this was supposed to be like a quick, order ahead and grab your food and go, and that definitely was not. Well, I mean, we've used it several times in the past where it was just fine, and so it was kind of one of those things where like, well, I guess if you're asking me, yeah, I didn't think the visit was great. And so she gave a 1-star review, and they sent her a voucher for 2 free entrees and 2 chips and queso. And so now we have free Chipotle, I guess. So we have to figure out another time to get Chipotle, which was going to be tonight. Actually, we were going to go back to back on Chipotle, but now Shauna wants to go to the movie, and going to the movie means popcorn. So I don't know that we will have the food budget for Chipotle tonight. Well, sorry, when I say food budget, I don't mean money. Shauna was afraid we were going to sound poor when I said we didn't have the food budget for it. When I say food budget, I mean like we don't have the calorie budget to do both movie popcorn and Chipotle. I don't want Stream to be worried that we can't afford to eat both popcorn and Chipotle in one night. It's all a ploy for donations. I've told you guys where if you're ever worried that I'm in trouble financially, don't be worried. Unless you see me start trying to charge money for my UI. That's when you know shit has gone down financially.
Speaking of being poor, stay tuned later this week for the Factor 75.
Oh yeah. If you ever see me start selling my UI, then you know, okay, bro's hit some, he's in a rocky patch. But so long as the UI is free, you guys got nothing to worry about. Wither, thank you for the gift sub. Much appreciated, very generous. And Broke Streamer, you just got babed. You want to lay on my chest here? Yeah, well, we can probably arrange that, I guess. Should you be worried if I do Raid Shadow Legends as stream as well? Yeah, actually, that's another good one. For the most part, I'll say yes to plenty of stream sponsorships. I say no to most games. I've had plenty of game developers offer sponsorships. I say no to a lot of them because I just don't want to turn my stream into that. I don't want to just be playing dog shit on my stream all the time. And Raid Shadow Legends, admittedly, I have not gotten a Raid Shadow Legends offer in a while. But yeah, there was definitely a point there for like a year where there was like a monthly Raid Shadow Legends offer. And it's just like, no, 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 Jesus Christ, no, no. Raid used to pay fat though? Yeah, it did. I mean, it wasn't necessarily easy to say no to, but it was just, I did it one time to see what the game was. I played through it and I was like, yep, that's a fucking mobile game. Have I considered doing variety gaming other than WoW? Yeah, everybody considers doing variety gaming. The problem is, very few people start as a variety streamer. And if you try to go from being a one-game Andy to a variety streamer, good luck. And I do not mean this in a negative way towards stream chat, but chat will tell you, oh dude, do variety, man, we're all here for you. Like, oh, we'd love to see, just do whatever whatever makes you happy. Like, we're here. You're not. Like, and nor would I expect you to be, but like, that's here. Like, when people make those kind of comments in chat, they're not, I mean, that person speaking may be around for it, but they definitely do not speak for everybody. They don't even speak for a majority of the people. If you are a one-game Andy and you play something else, your viewership is going to collapse. And so it is unless you just get lucky, where there's some streamers who have sort of pivoted to variety because they tried a different game that they liked and their chat also liked it and they kind of stuck with them, and then they sort of segued that. But if you just make a decision one day, if I'm playing WoW for years and years and years and my entire audience is here because I play WoW, and then one day I'm just like, you know what, fuck WoW, man, this game sucks, I'm gonna go play something else, let's go guys, like 80% of you are gonna dip within the first hour. It does not matter what I pick to play. Doesn't fucking matter. You did not watch me because I played those games. You watched me because I played WoW. You may appreciate my personality, but not that much. It's like, yeah, JB's cool when he plays WoW. If he doesn't play WoW, he's kind of just like anybody else playing those other games. And we out. So you can occasionally get lucky. Streamers occasionally get lucky where a new game comes out and they jump on the hype train of that, and their chat follows them because that's the hyped game. And then they kind of snowball that. Their chat kind of follows them for a few days, and then they start collecting other newer viewers that are there for that variety game, and then maybe they keep it moving. But if you just decide out of nowhere, I'm going to play a different game, that's you have just opted into hard mode streaming, basically. It's very hard to, first off, you're kind of starting over, not completely, but you have in some ways forfeited your built-in audience. And you are now going to kind of start from scratch with a new audience, building them up. And this time you have to convince people to stick around to watch you, not the game that you're playing. And some people are built for that. There's some people that are very naturally entertaining. Doesn't matter what game they're playing. It'll be funny to watch them do it. But there's, I mean, especially you look through the WoW category, there's a lot of motherfuckers playing WoW that are, you know, you're not watching them because they're a riveting human being. Autistic? No, it's not even like autistic. It's just some people are just not especially engaging people. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you're streaming, you know, you're there to be an entertaining. Like sometimes the game by itself is entertaining. That's all that's needed. But there's definitely some WoW streamers that if they were trying to play anything besides WoW, you would not be watching them. And like honestly, like when I'm doing keys, that's what I am. When keys start, I basically have to trust that the keys themselves are entertaining, because when I start doing keys, I stop interacting with chat like completely. And not everybody does. Some people are able to play keys at a high level and still maintain a dialogue with their chat the entire time, but that's fucking hard. And I can't, or at least I don't want to do it. I feel like I'm sacrificing performance in the key if I do. Assume they have a monitor above the main one. It doesn't matter. Like, no matter how well you have it situated, in order to interact with chat, you got to be taking your eyes off the game to some extent. I mean, there's better and worse ways to do that. But no matter what, you got to be spending time reading chat when you're not looking at the game. And I don't think and then unless you're going to give the most generic, boring answers possible, you're going to have to read chat and then process it, think about it, respond to it. Do I think more people would watch me if I talk to chat more or perform better in game? Probably talk to chat. I've had a lot of people. There's been very few times where I've had a day of really good keys, and at the end of it, people have been like, man, banger stream today. Now, people may tune in and watch it and not say anything. It may be that more people tune in to watch. If I was doing like world first keys, I may get a bunch of people watching that just don't say anything. But it's very rare to be complimented on a good stream day of really high level keys. But I've had several days where it felt to me like I wasn't doing shit on my stream. Like in my mind, I was having an unsuccessful stream day because I couldn't find any keys to do. I was running around Valdrakken or Oribos or Dalaran or whatever the hub is at the time. And I'm just bullshitting with chat. And in my mind, it's like, man, what a lame stream. And then as I'm wrapping it up, I'll have people in chat be like, hey man, really cool stream today. Like I had fun chatting. And that always catches me off guard, because every time I have a stream like that, I'm like, man, what a fucking dog shit stream day. I just ran around Valdrakken and made shit up to talk about in chat for like 4 hours. Like, what a worthless stream. And then to have people at the end of it be like, oh, dude, that was like a really engaging stream. And it's like, wait, what? Are you sure? So I do think that at least with the people that are like chat, I mean, I guess to that extent, maybe it's important to make a distinction between like viewers and chatters. And there's a lot of people, obviously way more people in my chat that are just viewers than they are chatters. And when I'm having a stream like this, that is probably much more preferable to the chatters, but it may not be preferable to the viewers, of which there are many more than the chatters. So it's you have to kind of figure out. That's one of the difficult parts about streaming, is figuring out the like silent majority. What are they here for? The people that are viewing but not chatting, why are they tuned in? Do I think viewers are glued to every move of a Mythic Plus dungeon? No, holy God, no. Bar of Soap, thank you for the resub, babe. 13 months, appreciate it, and thank you for your continued inclusion in the J-Dot, babes. But yeah, I will admit, I think I have the ability to be an entertaining streamer from a personality perspective, but I will also concede that I think my chosen form of content is not always great for that. And there's definitely an element of probably fear, like equal parts fear and inertia, that influence that decision to be like a WoW only streamer. Because it's definitely easier to just sit around and do keys all day and not talk to stream. Having streams like this where you're talking the whole time, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like exhausting, but it's like you're being like actively thinking more, and it's harder to keep that level of dialogue up all the time. So it's like a more draining kind of streaming experience. And then the other thing is that, like, when I'm doing keys, I know what the content is. I open up LFG, I find a group, I queue up. If I'm not doing keys, I have to be constantly trying to think of something else to talk about, which is where stream interaction is actually great for that. And in some ways, I feel like streaming, like when you grow as a streamer, it becomes a sort of self-perpetuating thing, because the hardest thing for me to do on stream is to talk about shit with nobody in chat. Like, if I'm just saying shit and nobody's responding, and then I just have to keep saying shit, and you never get a back and forth, that's really difficult to do. You just always be trying to find something else to talk about when the conversation doesn't drive itself naturally. And then as you start getting more viewers and chatters, it becomes easier and easier, because then there's always more and more people talking in chat, giving you something to either react to, like they'll say something and you respond to it, or they'll say something that gives you a new topic to think about. They'll ask you a question and you'll go, oh yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. And then after you answer it, you go, hey, actually, that reminds me. And then as you're talking, somebody makes a point to what you said, and then you respond to that. And so the interaction with chat drives itself. And you stop having to be trying to generate topics all the time, which is challenging. I'm sure it's easier for some people. I think some people's brains are a fucking mile a minute, and There's just shit bouncing around inside their head all the time, and they just open their mouth and it comes out. But for me, trying to constantly be segueing to new stuff to talk about it requires a very conscious effort. Once you get a shitload of viewers, it becomes spam. And there's definitely like a critical mass that you achieve where you get like a good amount of chatters, and then a point where it just takes off and stops being useful. Just becomes a stream of text. But I think that's in that range of like 1,000 to 2,000 viewers probably. You have enough people talking that you're not getting overwhelmed, but a constant enough stream of new comments that there's always something you can be responding to or some question you can be answering. So that's I think that's a good amount to sit at. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. And then the other problem with being a variety streamer is, in the same way that it's hard to always find a new topic to think of to talk about, in variety streaming, you got to be constantly finding a new fucking game to play. And I don't necessarily enjoy constantly starting new games. There's probably people out there whose personalities are attracted to that. To that constant discovery of new games, trying stuff out, and they find that exciting or interesting. But I feel like it would be sort of overwhelming where I'm trying to learn a new game every fucking week or something, and it's just always trying to find the next thing. What's everybody getting excited about? What does everybody want to see me play? Whereas WoW's very safe. You just fire it up and wait in queue. Would also get expensive buying all the games. I mean, if you knew that the game was going to pay for itself with stream content. I suspect if you became a successful enough variety streamer, you could probably get a lot of game developers to give you a code, especially some of the smaller indie games. I wouldn't be surprised if successful variety streamers have agents that can get them a pipeline of free games all the time, new stuff coming out. That's definitely, you'd have to be a streamer of a certain size, but if you're able to consistently bring 1,000+ viewers to a new game, that would be a massive boon to any developer who's trying to get their indie game off the ground. If you could give a dude a free key for like your $20 game, and that person could bring not even 1,000, they could bring fucking 500 viewers on Twitch to your game, make your game jump up the front page. That would have the potential to pay off massively for you. So I don't even know that you have to be buying new games all the time. The hard part is finding them, like getting all these new games to give yourself something to do. And I feel like you could never like fall in love with a game too much. That's like the deal, the bargain you have to make with yourself. Like, no matter how much I like this game, we got to be moving on. Whatever flavor of the month is, we're moving on to that. So if you land on a game that you really like, well, cool. You can play that, in the evening when you're done with stream. But at a certain point, you just have to move on from it and play something else on stream. All right, well, probably wrap it up there. As I said, Shauna wants to go see Dune 2 today, and she wanted to go this weekend. She always wants to see movies on the weekend, and I'm like, I hate seeing movies on the fucking weekend because I don't want to go. I don't want to fight a crowd at the theater. I just want to be able to walk immediately to the concession counter, wait behind nobody, order my $40 that consists of like 1 popcorn bucket and 2 drinks, and then walk into the movie theater, sit down, not have to hear a single other fucking person in the movie talk, not have to see a single fucking cell phone screen light up, and watch my movie. And be able to do that like 5 minutes before the movie starts. I want to be able to pull up to the theater, have a primo parking spot, walk in, immediately to the concession counter, and then immediately to my seat within the space of like 10 minutes, and then the movie starts. And that's what I want my movie experience to be. And Sean always wants to go on like a Saturday. And I'm like, it's the worst time to see a movie. So today, he was like, what if we go see a movie Monday at 3:50? And it's like, yeah, that's probably going to be empty as fuck. I'm okay with that. So, all right, are we getting the Dune bucket? I don't think so. That thing's weird as fuck, and they're probably going to charge me an extra $15 for it. And I'm not sticking my hand in that. So anyway, hopefully, Sean and I rewatched, or I rewatched, Sean watched for the first time, the first Dune movie, like a week ago. And I am very much looking forward to the second one. So hopefully... I mean, I'm expecting it to be good. It sounds like everybody likes it that watches it. Hoping it's a classic. And then only one more sleep till I get my monitor. So it's going to be hopefully a good 24 hours here coming up. So anyway, I hope you guys have fun watching. I had fun streaming as usual, primarily a Mythic Plus stream. So if that's something you're interested in or want to learn more about, hit the follow button. I will do my best to both educate and entertain you, and I will see you tomorrow.